Hello everyone. So this is the summary of the poem The Canonization by John Donne. This poem was published in 1633. So this is the text of the poem. Actually, this poem is addressed to an unknown person whom poet thinks is disturbing him in his lovemaking, and he provides to this person a lot of options which he can think about rather than disturbing the poet in his lovemaking. Okay, so now I'm going to start the poem. So, for God's sake, hold your tongue and let me love. Now, poet is requesting to this person to keep quiet and let the poet enjoy his love making. Or this person can make fun of his old age and the palsy disease from which he is suffering. He can also make fun of the pain in his joints and the few hairs left on his head. He can also make fun of the poet for wasting his wealth. Okay, and there are other options which he can think about. For example, he can acquire wealth, he can take up a course of study, he can acquire knowledge or learn some skill, he can find a job and observe the king. If not in reality, then his stamped face on the coins. So he can do whatever he likes, but not to disturb the poet in his love making. Come to the next stanza. And now he is saying that he has not harmed anybody with his love. Okay, he has nobody's injured because of his love. He has not drowned any merchant ships with his sighs. His tears have not caused any flood. Okay, and his sighs have not prolonged the winter, and by doing so, have delayed the spring. Okay, so he has not delayed the spring by prolonging the winter. And the heat of his passion has not caused any plague which takes the life of the people. Okay, which takes the lives of the people. Soldiers are still busy in going to wars, lawyers are still busy in finding their clients. Why anybody has any objection if they are busy in love making? So that's why he says that which quarrels move, though she and I do love. That no, who is going to quarrel if they are making love with each other? Okay, why anybody will have objection if they are in love with each other, if they are enjoying love? Okay, come to the next lines. And now he is saying that this person can call the poet and his beloved anything what he wants. Okay, he can even call the poet and his beloved as flies because they move around each other, and they have become so because of their love. Okay, and this person can call them the candles and they burn themselves for each other. Okay, and this person can call them eagle and dove. Okay, and this person can also call them phoenix is a mythical bird, okay, which has a neutral sex. Okay, and that's why a poet is saying that he and his beloved, their souls are mixed. Okay, they have become one, and by doing so they have become a neutral sex, and like phoenix they die and they will come again back to life. Okay, so to know one neutral thing which both sexes fit, we die and rise the same and prove mysterious by the end. The love, is mysterious. Come to the next lines. And now he says that if they cannot enjoy love in this life, so they will die with it. Okay. And if the stories of their love won't be carved on the tombs and the monuments, then their love stories will be found in the poems. Okay, legends means their love story. Okay, and if no piece of chronicle we prove, if their love story is not recorded in any book of history, then it will be found in the sonnets. Okay, and these sonnets are the well formed verses. Okay, better than the tomes which are spread over the land of half acre. So he says that these vases are better than the tomes, and by these hymns all shall approve us canonized for love. So in future when people will read about their love, then they will be treated as the saints of love, and thus invoke us, you whom reverent love made one another's hermitage. Then the people will be surprised to know that they have made each other their hermitage, their pilgrimage. Okay, they see each other as their pilgrimage. You to whom love was peace, that now is rage. And they will find that the love of the poet and his beloved is full of peace, and the love of the future age will cause suffering and pain. So there will be a comparison between the love of the past and the love of the present age. Who did the whole world soul contract drove into the glasses of your eyes? And now he is saying that he can see the entire world reflected in the eyes of his beloved. Okay, so they can see the entire world in each other's eyes. Into the glasses of your eyes means they can see the entire world in each other's eyes. Okay, like they can see all the countries and the towns and the courts and everything. Okay, and when people will read their love story, then they will offer their prayers to them, so that they can become a kind of intermediator, to send their requests to God. Okay, so they will work as intermediators to make their prayers reach to the God, because they will be treated as saints of love in the future. And the poem ends here. Okay, so the meaning of this line is, so made such mirrors and such spies. What does it mean? That their eyes are like mirror in which they see the entire world. Okay, so here the poem ends.